Hey everyone, welcome back to another Ironman from scratch video. So as an early Ironman, we don't have access to a lot of easy bulk magic training like enchanting crossbow bolts or even high arc at mid levels. That means we have to make do with every scrap we have. And there's one place in this game dedicated to training magic the real way. But before we get into it, a quick rundown of where we're at. So in the previous episode, we got a few random event collection logs, finished Temporos combat achievements, knocked out the full rogues outfit, opened over 1300 Temporos rewards permits, and hit our first 1 million GP on the account. Since we're on the topic of magic, let me know what's your favourite way to train mage in old school RuneScape. Drop a comment below. So we've pretty quickly got to 65 thieving, which lets us get to the third and final blackjacking target, the Menophyte Thugs. These guys give us 137.5 XP versus the previous 84.5, so that's a massive increase, over 50% more experience than the previous level of Thugs. Not to mention the extra cash that we'll make on top of that. Just a quick pit stop to help my old mate Leo with his graves again. Hopefully we get a piece of the outfit here. And beautiful. That's a really good one because I think that's the zombie set finished now. So another random event collection log 100% complete. Yep, there we go. That's the full zombie outfit complete. We're a spooky boy. Yeah. I just got in the zone a bit too much and wasn't paying attention, and this is what happens. Blackjacking is a dangerous sport. Making some good progress though, you can see we're about halfway to level 70. There's another random event collection log item. Actually, that's the second set we've completed now during the blackjacking. First the zombie one, now Freaky Forester, on a good little run here. Level 70 thieving. Okay, so we've got about 1.6 million GP to our name. That'll be more than enough. 1.5 is sort of the target we were going for. I also just wanted to knock out level 73 thieving since we were getting close. Now I think it's time to move on from the blackjack, and I think that's more than enough. So, like any responsible, well-adjusted adult who comes into a large sum of money, there's only one thing to do. Spend it. Now that we made all the money, we're going to go buy some more runes back up at the mage arena. So we want another 1800 nature runes, 900 lore runes, and 500 chaos runes. Just again, hopping between worlds to grab it all. We're also going to grab whatever cosmics are available as we're hopping. And that's our shopping trip complete. Got all the runes that we were looking for. So it's pretty much time to start that magic grind. Have you worked out what it is yet? Please drop a like on the video if you enjoy a good shopping spree as well, or just to support my spending habits. Helps the video too, of course, as always, which is very nice. Just on the way, we're going to quickly fish a salmon from Lumbridge for the achievement diary, and now it's time to get into the magic grind. That's right, it's time for the Mage Training Arena. I mean, it's in the name, right? It should have been a given. I've done it a few times recently during the Trailblazer and Shattered Relics League, but it was much quicker during that because it was a whole bunch of boosts for the points. So there's a few reasons why we want to train here, but first and foremost, there's a couple of items that we're going to want to get, and you can only get them from here, namely the Infinity Boots and Bones the Peaches, so we were going to have to grind it out eventually. It makes more sense to grind it out now at the early magic levels where we don't have access to, easy high alchemy training. Later on in the game, we'll have items stacked up we can train with high alchs and so on. But early on, we're going to have to use whatever spells are available to us, so we might as well make use of the time and use those spells in rooms at the Mage Training Arena, like Bones to Bananas and Telekinetic Grab, where we're going to have to use them anyway. We're starting with the Graveyard Room and Bones to Bananas, which is the lowest level spell we can cast here. So the general gist of this room is pick up some bones, cast Bones to Bananas, deposit the bones and get points. You can also use Bones to Peaches if you haven't unlocked. It doesn't give you any more points, but you'll get more XP and you can heal for more obviously when you eat the peaches. There's plenty of advanced and optimized ways you can do it to maximize your points per hour. A really basic way to do it is to just come in and take 4 single fruit bones, enchant them and then deposit them. Then from there on out, you basically just take 8 bones, enchant, deposit, 8 bones, enchant, deposit, so on and so forth. That's the method you can see me using on the screen at the moment, but eventually I got bored and I just started mashing the bone pile and filling up my inventory until I saw 20 bones up in the top left on the runelight icon, and then I would just Bones the Bananas and slap it in the box and move on. We're going to save up 331 graveyard points and then move on to the next room. I'll explain why in a little bit. 25 magic, 26, yep, I already forgot to record one, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Woo-wee, they don't call it the Mage Training Arena for nothing. We were absolutely blitzing through some levels. At least during editing it felt like I was blitzing through levels. I must say, during the actual grind it didn't feel like a blitz. This room is absolutely miserable with low HP and constantly having to go get more food and heal up. Anyway, we got our 331 points, so on to the next room. Right, telekinetic room next. So we've got 34 magic after finishing up graveyard. Math works out nicely because we need 33 to use telekinetic grab in this room. That's the only spell you can use in this room anyway, so there's not much other choice. There's not much to say for this room, no crazy strategies or anything. Literally just stand in the colored square where RuneLight tells you to stand, cast telekinetic grab, and you want to pull the statue all the way to the end of the maze. And that's all there is to it. It's very easy, very brain dead. At least you don't have to think about it, it just takes a bit of time. Every 5th maze you complete will give you a few extra points as well as some lore runes, which is quite nice. Anyway, on to the countdown. 35, and a very nice little 775 total level. 36, 37, 38, 39, and of course I missed the big 10 interval of 40. Oh well, on we go. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and 46. I tell you what, these levels are absolutely flying by. YouTube on one screen, telekinetic grab on the other. It's so mind-numbingly dull that time disappears. I guess that's a good thing, maybe, right? Means I didn't really feel the grind or something, or maybe I'm just broken as a human being. Anyway, we've got our 331 points for this room, on to the next one. Next up is the enchanting chamber. This is the fastest of the lot. Basically, you're just going to pick up these shapes and enchant them. You want to try to do the bonus shape in the corner whenever you can for bonus points. It's best to just stand in one corner and you'll get that generally 50% of the time. You can also deposit the items in the block in the center of the room for a chance at some blood death or cosmic runes, but we're going to do so few of them that it's not really worth the hassle. I bought the wizard's mind bombs with me here because once I hit 47 magic I could boost up to use the ruby enchantment for an extra point per cast. Picking up the dragon stones in the middle of the room used to be the go-to method, but it was so heavily botted they ended up changing it a few years ago. It's not worth the hassle anymore, just use the shapes in the corner. As I said, super quick one. We only need 165 points for now, so we're already done. Let's move on to the last one. Last but not least, the alchemy room. So this room's going to take the longest, 1 because we need a few more points, 431 in total, and 2 because it's just slower to get the points in general. Pretty straightforward. Basically, you alch an item, get some coins. You want to pick the one that's worth 30 coins in the list. It rotates every 40 seconds or so. Low or high alchemy doesn't make any difference, but obviously high alchemy will get more experience, so we're going to use the wizard's mind bombs again to boost up to level 55 once we're within range. There's only 8 possible combinations, so the items always appear in the same order. That is, for example, the rune kite shield's always next to the med helm, which is next to the emerald. And then it's just the positions in the room relative to each other that move, but they'll always be in the same clockwise order. So once you know the location of one item, you can easily work out the rest. That's all RuneLite's doing. It's not like a dodgy cheat plugin or anything. You get 1 point for every 100 coins deposited, and it'll always round down to the nearest 100. So you want to get it in multiples of 100 as close as you can. Don't be a clown like me and deposit with 360 coins, because I basically just wasted 60 coins in this clip. Anyway, I think I've already proven that I know how to count, so I'm not going to bore you with another little counting session. I'll just flash the levels up on screen. So we made some quite good progress. So we got all the way to level 58 by the end of our little mage training arena stint. A pretty good haul if I do say so myself. But I've had enough of this place now, so it's time to buy our goodies and move on. I mentioned at the start of this training session that our key items for later on are the infinity boots and bones to peaches. However, those are for a little bit further down the line. What we want right now is a mud rune and 10 mist runes, which is going to help us with some quests. The mud rune for Eyes of Gloffrey and the 10 mist runes for Swan Song. So a bit of quick math on the points that we gathered. Not only did they line up pretty well for the levels we were trying to get, but by getting 331 telekinetic and graveyard points, and as well as 431 alchemist points, once we spend the 11 on the runes, we'll be left with 320, which is exactly what we need for our key items, the boots and bones to peaches in the future. So all we'll have to do is come back and get the 3300 enchantment points, which is pretty quick to do. And we'll be able to come back and do those enchantment points with a higher level enchant spell in the future once our magic level has gone up. Rightio, let's get out of here. With a higher mage level now and access to a lot more teleports, we can blitz through a bunch of content, particularly some quests and diaries and whatnot. Having the home teleport in particular is very, very useful. So we're going to teleport to Camelot, which is going to give us a little sneaky diary task. I don't need to read out everything that's in my inventory. You can see it's there. We've got the bar crawl card and the soft clay. Those are the main things in the fishing net. We're going to go charter a net. We're going to go charter a ship to Brimhaven, visit the pub to do the bar crawl card. Then we're going to run south and pick up and drop some seaweed again for the diary task, and also keep a hold of the seaweed for later on as a quest item. While we're here, we're going to knock out Jungle Potion. Whilst doing the quest, making sure to grab 3 extra snakeweed, 3 extra Adrigal, 1 Valencia moss, and 1 Rogue's Purse per the RuneLite guide or even the Wiki quest guide, as these will come up in future quests like Legends Quest, Zoga Flesh Eaters, and so on. So it's just handy to have it now. We're also going to grab 7 charcoal from the shop. I had to do a couple of trips because my inventory was a bit full, but again, it's so much nicer now having the teleports. You can go back and forth a lot more quickly. But yeah, these are used in a lot of quests, in particular things like Desert Treasure, Recipe for Disaster, the Dig Site, so on. We're also going to start up Tybo 1A Trio while we're here in the town, and then head down and do some Karambwanji fishing. So these are really useful because they can stack up as food in your inventory for raising a cat. You don't have to have multiple inventory slots taken up, so we're going to fish quite a few of them here. This will be the last little bit of AFK task for a while. Like I said, now that we have all the teleports and that available, we can blitz through a whole bunch of quest progress and build the account further. In the meantime, feel free to check out the previous episode on screen, subscribe to follow along the series, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. See ya.